Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much, Mazruma Sahiba. I'm very much grateful to your organization, Micronox, and as well as your magazine by the name of Fire, which are, of course, extending a lot of information to especially the young generation of today. And, especially I'm grateful to them that you have come today in love of my state of Junagadh and me, and I would like to thank you on behalf of the so many people of Junagadh and on my personal behalf.
So tell our viewers something about the state of Junagadh, about the history and about the geography.
Okay, first of all, I would like to explain some of the historical and geopolitical aspects of Junagadh. You see, Junagadh was a state which consisted on approximately 4,000 square miles of land, and it is situated in Kathiawar, which is, of course, Kathiawar doesn't exist anymore now. It is a part of the larger province of Gujarat, and we were enjoying about 90 miles of coastline on the Arabian shores, beautiful golden sandy beaches, and extremely rich and fertile state. We had the extensive forest of the Gir, on which even today the National Geographic and the Animal Planet and the Discovery has documented a lot of documentaries over there of the wildlife, and especially it was the stronghold of the Asiatic lion, which you don't find anywhere else in the world except for our great forest in Junagadh. So they have the natural habitat. And then, of course, there was a time when the lions had come to an extinction, they had become very extinct, and therefore then the Nawabs of Junagadh had made laws to preserve, and then today they are roaming over, because the Gir forest consisted of about approximately 500 square miles, and today the lions are roaming over 20,000 kilometers. And then, of course, Junagadh was one of the second richest states out of 562 princely states. after the Nizam of Hyderabad,
So that was its second richest state.
second
But it
register.
was a welfare state, right?
Yes, in terms of revenues, and in the entire order that consisted of about approximately 562 states, Junagadh stood the sixth richest out of the lot.
So being
Yes, that's a very nice question, you know. Actually, you see, it was because we had treaties with the British. Actually, what happened was that in 1735, Junagadh, it was actually these were the personal lands of the family of the Nawab of Junagadh, and they got it in recognition to the services they rendered to the imperial Mughals, because our forefathers went into India, and Usman Khan Babi, one of our forefathers, had come along with an army, and then they supported Humayun, who was deposed by Sher Shah Suri, and he was roaming around these areas, and they came down to Umarkot, and then Emperor Akbar was born there, and then they went down to Kandahar, and then they came here, and our forefathers hailed from Kandahar. And so when they entered India, and they took over then the possession of Delhi again from Sher Shah Suri, and they deposed him, and then Humayun was crowned Emperor of India again, and thence onwards our forefathers remained with the courts, with the imperial courts, and they held high positions like governor generals and governors and commanders and statesmen. The rulers of Junagadh, or yes, 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 of course, we were Muslims, yes. And we can trace our history way back, from the time of Fateh Makkah and even before that. So after that, what happened? The services they used to render to the British Imperial, they received these lands, which eventually in 1735, one of our forefathers by the name of Sher Khan, Bahadur Khan Babi. He was the son of Sher Khan. We have two names in our families, we use the title of our father and then the name of the Nawab. So his father, Bahadur Khan's father, Sher Khan, was the last of the governor generals over there, and so he declared in 1735, they declared Junagadh as an independent sovereign state. And they gave distributed land to the people, and then we of course had treaties with the British, and we didn't need the armies after that anymore. So a lot of the finances which were coming for the state revenues, they were going back in the welfare of the people. So it was an enlightened and a golden chapter in the history of my family, that you see, education was free. Right from the primary to the highest levels, and they used to support boys who were interested in getting education. Boarding, lodging were the responsibilities of the state government, and from pencil to clothes and to everything was provided by the state. Yeah, that I'll come to it later on. So, and then the second thing was that, as far as healthcare is concerned, then hospitalizations and medicines were, of course, the express responsibility of the state government. And then not only that, but food was cooked, which is called langars, were on in the state. So there were 5 langars, of the state, and then at the shrines of the saints, at the mazarats, there were, langars, which were also organized by the state. And so that is a very, golden chapter in the history of my family. And then there was your question. Yeah, so the percentage of Hindus was about approximately 70%, and the rest were Muslims. But you see, the Nawabs was loved even today. If you go on social media, and you can find out how the Nawabs were loved, uh, because you see there was justice, they were taking care, and it was a relationship between the father and the children. So the Parja, which was of course the subjects of the state, were like his own children, and the Nawab did everything for them, and he was the father, and that's why they called him Bapu, you know. And so they used to hold courts, and when they used to hold courts, then they used to, which were represented, of course, by the Hindus as well as the Muslim communities, and they used to say, Bapu, we want to have it like this, and we want to have it like this, and we want this, and we want that, and we want these laws, you know, in our state. And the Nawab used to say, yes, okay, you know, go ahead. And so the people were happy, and that's why, and you can see there were, the first lepers asylum was built in Junagadh, in the entire Hindustan, undivided India we're talking about. So you can imagine how advanced the state was, because they used to, the people who had leprosy were just left, and they used to go and live in caves. So there was a palace-like, hospital which was built for them, and then just before at the time of partition, the machinery had arrived. The most latest machineries had arrived from America and elsewhere, from Europe, regarding the film industry, and they wanted to make it because it's a beautiful place. You can see a lot of movies are being shot there, you know. Yes, because you see, when the Indian Independence Act of 1947 came into effect, which was, of course, ratified by the British Parliament, so a few things happened by that act. It was like the British who were exercising the sovereignty, the rights and authorities, they receded that, they went back, and then the dominions of Hindustan came into existence as a sovereign state. It was cut, and Pakistan was created, and the rulers were given the right of choice whether to accede to the dominions of Hindustan or to accede to the dominions of Pakistan. Like Hyderabad, Dakhan went independent, but of course then there was a police action there, and the state was taken over by force. And like the Maharaja of Kashmir, he signed an instrument of accession, I think. I'm not sure, but he acceded to India. And so there was always revolt against him from the very beginning by the people. So it is not like what happened in Junagadh, or like if you say in the instance of the Shah of Iran, where the people got up and they revolted against, the sovereign. It was not a situation like that. The people, when my grandfather took this decision to accede to Pakistan, they took the state council into confidence, and which had the representation of the Hindus as well as the Muslims. And what the people said that, yes, Nawab Sahib, we don't know Muhammad Ali Jinnah and we don't know Gandhi. We know you because your forefathers have led us for several hundred years, and we repose our fullest trust and confidence in you. And then it was only after that that the instrument of accession was signed with Pakistan.
And would you like to brief us about the terms and conditions that were set up at that time?
The terms and conditions of the instrument of accession. Yes, you see, in the instrument of accession, we had surrendered 3 of our sovereign powers to Pakistan, namely external affairs, defense and communications. However, the sovereignty vests within the Nawab, whoever may be the Nawab of Junagadh, in perpetuity, from time to time. Because when my grandfather signed this instrument of accession, he signed it on his own behalf, he signed on behalf of the state of Junagadh, and on his future Nawabs of Junagadh, his future successors to the Gaddi of Junagadh. And so it was very unfortunate that for some reason that Pakistan could not provide us with defense, and that was one of the reasons, because on the 15th of September 1947 they signed the instrument of accession. On the 25th of October, then, since there were no provisions of defense from Pakistan, my grandfather came to meet the Qaeda-Azam here from Junagadh. They had chartered aircrafts, and they flew into Karachi, because it's only about approximately 200 miles from Karachi, the distance between Karachi and Junagadh, because we had the port. That's why we signed the instrument of accession with Pakistan, because we thought that we were a maritime state and we could survive. Although it was not contiguous, or we didn't have any territorial link with Pakistan, but we had the sea link, because we were on one side and we had the open sea. So we could, and of course the reason, also one of the reasons was that my grandfather wanted to make Junagadh as a hub, because we had all the business communities over there. The Memon Gujarati communities were there, and they thought that, okay, all the business which is going to flow between India and Pakistan was going to flow through Junagadh. So, but that was not to be, and then on the 9th of November, the Indian forces, when my grandfather came here, he was in Karachi at that time, and the Indian forces had to come and take the possession of the state. And then after that, what happened was, since we had handed over the foreign affairs to the state of Pakistan, then Sir Zafrullah at that time was Pakistan's first foreign minister, and they took the case to the United Nations. And the case is pending there, and then of course in 1951 I think there was a ruling by the United Nations that we will take the issue of Kashmir first, and then we will deal with the issue of Junagadh, because the issue of Kashmir was like pertaining to the security of the region. And then my grandfather just stayed back, since the state was occupied behind by the Indian Army, and we carried on here. But he had come with his 4 clothes, just one suitcase, because they said, we are just going to meet the Qaeda-Azam and it will take us a few days and we'll come back. But Qaeda-Azam was not well, and so the meeting had had some delayed effects, so and then neither he met the Qaeda-Azam, and the state was under the occupation of it. We have handed over the foreign affairs to the government of Pakistan. So it is the obligation of the government of Pakistan to look into the case of Junagadh in the UN. But we are ruling some of the affairs of Junagadh from here. Like we have a legal document, and we have over 2 million people of Junagadh here, and which are operating as they have their Jamaats, and they have their internal elections, and they have the Jamaat Khanas. Yes, I'll talk about the business community. I'll come on that. So these people, all these Jamaats, they fall under the umbrella of Junagadh State Muslim Federation, which is the parent umbrella concern. And so people invite us, and we go, and still yet there is a lot of love and affection, which of course will remain. And as far as yes, there were of course a lot, because you see what happened was in 1947 they were talking that how will Pakistan be successful, because there was no economy, there was no industry in Pakistan. So, and that is why Qaeda-Azam wanted the Nawab of Junagadh to accede to Pakistan, because you see we had all the Memon Gujarati communities over there, and they were of course the pioneers, because what happened that they came and they established the business, they put up industries in Pakistan. They are the pioneers. Yes, yes, we had like the Daus, the Dadas, the Karims, the Adamjis, they were from the region like Adamjis, they were from Jodhpur, but Jodhpur was again, one of the vassal principalities of a satellite principality of Junagadh. And, so many other, others like, the people from the stock exchange today, like Akil Dedi and so many other families, which I can name who come from there. And so they established the industry and they established business and economy. And so, and the second thing was also that Qaeda wanted Nawab of Junagadh to join Pakistan because at that time Junagadh was the premier state of Kathiawar and it was the second richest, and so it was of course a great moral boost for Pakistan to have the Nawab of Junagadh with them.
What was the reaction of majority of the people of Junagadh who were basically Hindus? Were they happy with the decision of the Nawab of Junagadh?
Yes, of course, because at that time they did. At that time, they did vote, all right, whatever the Nawab's decision is, we stand by the Nawab of Junagadh. Because the people were so happy with him. But then, of course, now it is, with me, it is 3 generations on. And, of course, they don't even know me. They don't even know me.
What is your vision? Where do you want to see Junagadh in future? In Pakistan or in India?
Well, naturally, I have the great love for the people of Junagadh, and still the people love me there, and it is like the love and affection is from both sides. And of course, now that my grandfather has acceded here, though the accession has already been made, and so we will see how it goes on in the future. Yes, but so far we are in accession with Pakistan, and there is nothing like that. We remain with them. Yes, I have a son here. So after that, hopefully, he will take over charge upon my death. So he will be the new successor to the Gaddi of Junagadh, the Nawabs of Junagadh. It's an old dynasty, and we hope to carry it on, But then, of course, there are the sentiments of the people, and we'll see what happens now in the future, how it goes on.
So Nawab Sahib, talking about this beautiful and colorful turban that you are wearing, would you like to tell our viewers what is the speciality and what is the story behind this beautiful costume?
Well, thank you very much. Actually, we wear, basically we wear sherwanis, which was the last, in the end, in the 1947, at that era, they used to wear sherwanis and they used to wear the sapa. And because Junagadh is, in the province of Gujarat, and we share the same boundary of the Gujarat with the province of Rajasthan. So there was a lot of exchange of cultures, a lot of influence. So there was some influence of our cultures over there on Rajasthan, and then there was the Rajasthani. But the sapas which I'm wearing, it's more or less the same culture because as far as the sapas are concerned, in Gujarat and Kathiawar and Rajasthan, it is the same.
Did you bring it from Junagadh?
Some of the safas had come. I had requested some people because they keep going, because we have our people of Junagadh, and almost all these people have some relatives over there. So what happens is they go there to Junagadh to visit them for marriages and certain occasions, or just to go and meet them, and then the people from there come here to meet their relatives. So I request them, and most of them have come as almost most of my safas, all I can say, have come in as presents, No, actually I have never been to Junagadh, but I have been invited by my people of Junagadh over there to come and visit Junagadh, and So, but I've never been there, But I want to go sometimes before I die, at least, and go and visit the graves and the monuments of my forefathers, where they are buried. I would like to see Junagadh. There- yes, there are a lot of issues with government of Pakistan which are going on, and because you see, Pakistan has to think seriously for Nawab of Junagadh as to what's his policy going to be here, because if you see, in a way, you can say that yes, we are their guests. But then, in light of international law, then the one status of the Nawab of Junagadh is that of a sovereign in exile. And but we say this is our country also, So, of course, the governments have not done justice with the Nawabs of Junagadh, and they have to seriously, think over this issue. And we are talking to them, and I'm pretty hopeful that the matters will be, sorted out administratively with lot of love and affection between the Nawab of Junagadh and the state of Pakistan.
The people of Junagadh who are watching you right now, do you have any message for them through the platform of fire?
Yes, I do. I wish to thank them for all the love and affection they have not showered but heaped upon me, and I shall always love them, and so shall my generations. And because you see, this is a situation. How can I put it? I'm having difficulty, explaining the situation. That this relation has been given to us by our forefathers, you see, and this is a part of our tradition, that the love stays and the bonds, and it will always be there amongst my generations, my future generations to come, and amongst the people and the future generations to come of Junagadh. May they be here in Pakistan or in the Junagadh, or may they be elsewhere, because a lot of people are settled elsewhere in the world. This shall continue on, and we hope to meet the ones I have not met, and I wish them all the best. Even if I'm not close to them, my prayers and my good wishes are always for all the people of Junagadh, wherever they are, Well, my message for the people of Pakistan is that yes, there is a issue which was created in 1947 through the instrument signing of the instrument of accession, and I wish to thank all the people of Pakistan for the love and affection they've given me all along. But although the governments have not been so kind as they should be, and as when they needed us, we were there for them. But now that we need them, so they should be there for us, the government. But I have received a lot of love and affection from the people of Pakistan. I'm so thankful to them. I pray for them. I pray for everyone, for the betterment and for everything, all with all my love and affection to everyone. Yes, I'm very much grateful to your fire, your magazine, which is of course going to carry a lot of information to the youngsters and about the history of the subcontinent, and about at the advent of affairs at the time of partition. And I wish you all the success to both your electronic social media as well as your printed material by the name of Fire, your magazine. I wish you all the success, and this is like your media, your social media, and your Fire magazine are the second largest operating at the time in Pakistan. I wish you all the success, and I wish to thank you so much for being so kind enough as to come here and giving me the opportunity to speak to. And I'm very thankful to you, and I'm very thankful to your boss and people who are the owners of the media and the press. You know.